Hi, everybody. Welcome to the fall semester at Merit. This is Anatomy and Physiology, an introduction course. I'm very excited to teach this. We have lots of great activities planned for the fall. And let me just go into Canvas immediately and show you around for a moment there what we're doing. So when we start in Canvas up, you're going to have a dashboard right here. You see all your courses. These are all my courses. See, I'm taking nutrition. Here it says fall. This is the anatomy course. You go in here, 42,344. And then from there, you go straight to the homepage. And let me put that student view on for the homepage. So, and this is what you see when you open that homepage. You have contact info for me. You have a little blurb. You have a video introducing it. You have a link to the syllabus, a link to the first Zoom session, which is on Monday morning. And then we have a study tool link. And then this here is really cool. This is a group Zoom link where you can go and meet with each other throughout the semester and have study groups or ask me to come and I can answer you. We also have an embedded tutor this semester. So we're going to have some great activities we're doing with her. And also a lot of time to have Q&A sessions and times we can go more into detail to really learn the material. So that's really cool. Once you go from home, you go to announcements that usually shows up on top. I didn't do anything yet. But then you go to modules, and module is really where you have the weeks oriented. Where you have everything chronological oriented, like in weeks format. And each of those is called a module. The first two are non-weekly. They are just sort of housekeeping stuff. First here talks about learning tools, gives you some ideas. Helping to study. We have an activity around that. We'll go more into detail. Then we have links. Then we have some material that I created that we can have to help the learning process. And then in the second tab or module, you go meet me a little bit more. You go have a syllabus and a few other things to help the school process, like make a video, for example. So it's instructions on that. And then we go right into weeks. And in each week, let me actually go and show that in week 2, because it's a little easier to see. In each week has for mostly a Zoom weekly preview. We do that on Monday. Then it has a week objectives. In there, you can see all the stuff that we talk about this week, what you learn, and then all the assignments listed with how many points they gave and when the due date is. And so that's all organized there for as an overview. And then after that, we go into a learning tab. So internally, all the modules have an introduction, then a learning, then an applying, and then a practical portion of the lab portion. And then we wrap it up at the end. So you have a lecture each time, or more than one, depending on how many chapters we go through that week. And in each of those lectures, you have videos, video lecture where I talk into the computer, or you have them in a classroom where I talk into the class before COVID happened. And then underneath that, we have the main concept spelled out again in bullet point format with all the main topics up here as tabs. And you can go to those tabs and it gives you to also pictures. You can screenshot that. You can make flashcards out of that, whatever makes you study this material and understand this material. And then after that, each week, we have the lessons, and then we have questions discussing the lessons and going through the lessons again in more detail. And even there, we have videos explaining that. And see underneath here, I try to say how long the videos are, or actually in front of it here with this one. And then these are quizzes, so to speak, but you can take them as many times as you want, and the highest score counts. So it's really busy work to learn a material. And see, I put it up there, and then see, this is how it's like a multiple choice thing, or, choose all and apply. Sometimes it's a fill in the blank a little bit. So there's multiple formats that we have with these question type things. The first test is built up in this format. So by the time you get to that, you're used to that format. And then we have a few other things that we do as activities, but then the first few chapters have a discussion forum. So we'll want to talk about that, how you discuss. In this class, you have discussion forums here. These like questions. So I'm asking you to answer these questions here and type something up, or you can make a video, or you can make an audio for it. And then you post that here on the reply, you post your thing. And once you post your thing, then you see everybody else's entries as well. And then what you do with these discussions, you read a couple of the entries and you give some feedback. You reply to a couple back, and then some people reply back to you, and then if they do, you reply back to them and say thank you for reading my post and so forth. So that's sort of generally how a discussion works. And then I got these integration exercises, these health kit exercises, and these are things where we do things like, for example, here when we talk about chemistry, we're going to go into the store or into the cabinet actually and take a few pictures of food labels of stuff that we eat, and then we analyze those food labels according to what's in those foods, and then we'll talk about it a little bit and we'll have a discussion about it. So health kits are sort of integrating the material in a way that is hopefully makes it useful for you and is not just some theoretical stuff. So that's kind of neat. And then at the end, each week at the end under the wrap up, we have a little questions and tips. And this is a Padlet that I made, or every week there is a Padlet that you go in and you actually exit here to log in. And then once you log in, you can post, or you can actually post even if you don't log in. You write something, but if you log in, then I know who it is. If not, you just write your name as well in here, so I know who it is. But you write something of like, what was this week about? How was it hard? How was it easy? Did you learn something? What did you learn? Just something to wrap up. How is the learning experience for you and so forth. Each activity has these rubrics that explains everything again. And I work the class that I do a lot of these exercises are either you do it and you complete it, or you haven't completed it and you get either full point or 0 points. Or here, if you do your own post, but you don't reach back to somebody, then you only get the 3 out of the 5 points. So each week we do that. There's a Padlet here. And I read those things each week because it teaches me a lot of how you guys are doing and how you guys like the class and so forth. And then we got a congratulations tab. That's just like, this is all we learned and this is all you did. So that's awesome, which it is. And so everything is again coming to a close, so you can make sure you didn't miss anything. And then at the end, the last one is a further reading resources. And here I have a textbook, and that's an online book. I also made my own textbooks that are in paper. I do like paper when I study this material, so I created that, and I'll talk about that in the class. But also up here, when you go to modules and in the learning tools, in the learning tools, right here, recommended class material. That's where my material shows up that I created for this class originally. It's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended because it helps the learning process of anatomy if you write things down. And look at how slow this is here. If you write things down onto paper, and these are 6 booklets that I made that are mainly paper based. They're small. You can put them in your pocket. And there it is. Look at that. And then it has all the exercises that we do also in the printed out format. So it's just all the class notes that way. So I do recommend that. Anatomy is a picture thing, to have that. I mean, I think it's very helpful. I also have a YouTube lecture series by a professor at Berkeley that I think is fantastic, and I put that behind there too. Just so you have that link also. All right, well, that's the beginning of the class, and I'm so happy you're part of it, and we're going to have lots of fun, and we'll be meeting up on the 22nd, I think, in the morning in a Zoom class. Again, not mandatory, but if you can join, that would be great. All right, see you later. Bye.